Hello world, from whichever time zone you're catching me from, my name is MD90. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notification to all so that you do not miss the uploads that come up. And the easiest way for you to navigate the channel is to head to the playlist. You'll find videos curated for you based on your interest. So if you're interested in the Kutika podcast, you'll find a playlist for that. For news and trends, there's a playlist for that. Exclusive with MD90, a bunch of playlists that are created based on your interest. So the easiest way to navigate the channel is head straight to the playlist and you'll find what you're here for. Consider becoming a member of the channel. Right next to the subscribe button is the join button. You click on the join button so that you can become a member of the channel. You support the team on the production and a number of things that we're doing here, and we appreciate that.
Well, the court case with regard to the body of the late President Edgar Lungu has started today. As you may be aware, the government of the Republic of Zambia, through the Attorney General, had sued the Lungu family and halted the burial that was supposed to take place in South Africa last Wednesday. And they were given up to today to submit their lawsuit, details in their lawsuit, and they have submitted that. So the way this information is flowing is that at least at this stage, from what I understand, is that this case is likely to be likely to be televised. But at this stage, it's not yet televised. So meaning we're getting stories from both sides. So I'm going to give you both sections where the media that is more inclined to the Patriotic Front, and also media that is also inclined to government and the UPND, so that you get to evaluate, because different types of information is coming through right now with regard to the submission that was done in court in South Africa today. So the details, I'll leave them for you to judge. I'll just present you both sides of the arguments here. So according to media that is more inclined to the Patriotic Front, they say government moves to repatriate Lungu's body and cites burial wish in will. There's no burial wish in his will. So Edgar Lungu's will seems to have come into play at this stage, because prior to this, it was just word of mouth. Family members of the late president were simply saying they left instructions to say he does not want to see the incumbent President Hakainde Hichilema anywhere near his casket or near his body when he dies, but it's not written. So government is citing to say the will of the late president does not cite that element in that. What is the Manuel Mwamba also cites here? He had to actually put out a document that was presented by, that is alleged to have been presented by the Attorney General of the Zambian government. And in this lawsuit, you can even see now they've included the South African government, because prior to this, it was understood to say, yes, the members of the Lungu family had been sued, including Makebi Zulu, the family spokesperson. But today, the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, that is the South African government, is part of the respondents. So meaning is part of the lawsuit. That information wasn't part of what was communicated last week. So according to what Emmanuel Mwamba put up to say, the state has applied to the High Court in Pretoria, demanding that the remains of the late President Edgar Lungu be repatriated to Zambia, as he is entitled to a state funeral under the former President's Benefit Act of 1993 and as amended in 1998. The Attorney General has also sued the government of the Republic of South Africa to the legal suit. So that's the element that's a new twist to all this. So prior to that, everyone else that was highlighted in this lawsuit was understood. But as of today, it seems like the Zambian government, or through the Attorney General, have included the South African government. And the South African government, the Minister of International Relations. So there, as you can see, what is written there, Attorney General has also sued the government of the Republic of South Africa to the legal suit. So this is the document that was being secreted by Emmanuel Mwamba. There's a case number there, and some of the details. The people that are sued, you can see the applicant is the government of the Republic of Zambia, and then the respondents. Then you see Esther Lungu, you see Betha Lungu, that's the elder sister to the late president. You see Tesila Lungu, that's the third respondent. That's a Chagwa member of parliament, and also Edgar Lungu's daughter, and then Daddy Solungu, that's the fourth respondent, that's the son. Chie Solungu, that's another daughter, and then Charles Piri, I'm not sure who that is, in addition to Edgar Shagalungu, and then Makebi Zulu, that's the family's spokesperson, and then to Mountain, that's the morgue, pretty much the mortuary where the body of the late president is. So all these were understood from last week, but the twist that has come off is the Minister of the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation. So that ninth respondent, that's the South African government there, or pretty much the government representative of the minister in that regard. So that's the twist that has come off, at least from the document that has been circulated by Emmanuel Mwamba. And then amended notice of motion. Take note that the applicant intends to apply for an order on the 4th of August 2025, 10 hours soon after the council. So those are the details with regard to this lawsuit. So the South African government has been included. What is the Kalemba? Says Hakainde Hichilema should not attend Lungu funeral, insists family spokesperson. Pretty much they're highlighting the conversation that Kebi Zulu had with the SABC yesterday, where he said that it wasn't necessary that the head of state be part of a state funeral because the state exists outside the head of state, so it's just the head of the state there. Yeah, pretty much saying it's not a presidential funeral, but a state funeral, meaning the President Hakainde Hichilema can delegate people to represent government or whoever that is necessary, but himself does not necessarily have to be there. So that's what's being quoted there. And then the UPND itself gave details about the lawsuit. So as I told you, different sides of the aisle are putting up different arguments or presentation of this lawsuit. That's why this thing, when the court proceedings start, the best thing is I hope it's going to be on camera, because different aisles are going to present what's in their interest. So I hope when the trial actually starts, it will be televised so that people can evaluate and judge the information on themselves. So the UPND is saying the suspension of Edgar Chagalungu's benefits for engaging into active politics was not lifted upon his death, state submits. So July 3rd July 2025. So Pretoria. The Zambian government has filed the amended notice of motion in the Pretoria High Court in South Africa, seeking the repatriation and burial of former President Edgar Chagalungu in Zambia. In its submission, the government argues that the late President Lungu did not specify in his will how or where he wished to be buried. So that's the argument. Seems like there's a will in play here. I do not know if there's a written will, but based off that argument, it seems like it's in play here. And then it goes, it further contains, that's still the government. This is what they submitted according to the UPND there. It further contains that the beneficiary under the former President's Benefits Act should not be presumed that it intends to be given to a state funeral in accordance with the Zambian customs and traditions. The state maintains that Mr. Lungu's acceptance of the benefits under the act should be interpreted as the expression of his burial wishes. So they say the fact that he was president and he had received presidential benefits, that should be used as his will in this case, since there's no written will. And then additionally, the government argues that Mr. Lungu was never disqualified from receiving his benefits, as outlined in Section 5, subsection 2 of the Act. Instead, it explains that his entitlements were merely suspended when he re-entered active politics, and the suspension ceased upon his death. So they are saying his benefits were simply suspended, not so completely cancelled. And the fact that once he died, that's when everything else ceased. So pretty much it goes back to the default setting. Anyway, let me just read you what is here. And then they say, as a result, the state assets. I mean, as a result, the state assets that it's regained the rights to provide a state funeral, fully funded and conducted in line with national customs and traditions. So said after his death, the state regained the rights to provide those. And then President Lungu died on June 5th, 2025 in South Africa. Following a dispute between the family and the Zambian state, the family opted to bury him in South Africa. However, on June 25th, 2025, the Pretoria High Court halted the burial pending the outcome of the legal proceedings. So that's aside from the UPND, what they submitted. And then Smart Eagles say government moves to repatriate Lungu, says the Zambian government has filed. This is a side from Smart Eagles. The Zambian government has filed the amended notice of motion in Pretoria High Court, South Africa, seeking the repatriation of the burial of the former president. In its submission, government argues that the late President Lungu did not specify in his will how or where he wished to be buried. So pretty much the two stories align. The only difference is that there's one section that is saying government has actually sued the South African government there, or the Minister of South Africa, and what we would call here Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Relations. What is smart? I mean, the mast says lawlessness, Muti under fire. So speaker's conduct was complete lawlessness and partisan, Chagwa Kavimba. So it seems like the speaker is being criticized for actions in parliament where members of parliament actually walked out. And then the news diggers, if I was not president, I would be praising this government for what we are doing. That's Hakainde Hichilema statement from yesterday. And then daily liberation, let Lungu be buried in Zambia, Patriotic Front's charity. I am sure Hakainde Hichilema has learned from the hate he inflicted on Lungu family. So she says the president has learned, so let the body be brought, but I don't think she has the authority or pretty much the leverage to make that short at this stage. And then the Zambia Daily Mail, to not glorify thieves, Hakainde Hichilema says public should not defend plunderers when the law visits them. And then Hakainde Hichilema cannot be impeached. Cornelius Mweto says president is not in breach of the law for such a motion to be entered or entertained. So simply saying the impeachment of President Hakainde Hichilema is now void because he has not contravened the constitution or the laws of Zambia. So that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. And then tomorrow, just in a couple of hours, it will be 1 month since the former president died, and his body has not yet been put to rest, and an agreement hasn't been reached. And the court case has started, as you may be aware. So wait and see how it plays out. But pretty much tomorrow, just in a couple of hours now, in 2 hours' time, it will be 1 month exactly since Edgar died. But his body is not yet in Zambia, neither is his burial taking place in South Africa until that court case finishes. That's the news, ladies and gentlemen.